I keep looking at this box, and I feel like I'm never going to be good enough to build it. I can never build this good. I'm just not that talented. I can't post anything like this on the internet. People will judge my build. It has to look like this. Or, what's the point?
Hey, Danny. What are you doing? You look so sad.
I want to build my first model kit, but I was looking at the model on the box top, and well, come upstairs, I want to show you something else.
Okay, Danny.
I was looking at this model kit online, and, well, look at these builds. Everyone's stuff looks so perfect. I can't post anything like this. I'll never measure up.
Oh, Danny, I hear you. That's a classic box art trap. You see, Danny, the pictures on the top of the box art, as well as all those models that the other people built and put online, they're not the starting point, Danny. They're the highlight reel. What you're missing here is the years and effort it took for all those people to get to the point where they could actually make a really good model and post it online like that. See, Danny, you're comparing your beginning to somebody else's best moments. You see, Danny, online, they're showing you this, or maybe even this. But they never show you this. Danny, you can't control what other people post, but you can control what you do right here.
So, I don't have to impress anyone?
No. If you build for them, then you'll get discouraged and you'll want to quit. However, Danny, if you build for you, then you're going to learn along the way and you'll improve. Here, Danny, come with me. I want to show you something. Now, about 44 years ago, when I started building models, I made models and they looked like this. So you see here, Danny, the radiator shell is a little bit crooked. This headlight is a little more ahead than that one. And there are some other flaws. Even my painting skills, I left a lot of spots on here where you could clearly see the brown plastic it was molded in. My white walls are not quite perfect. The body is actually like sitting up right here where it shouldn't really be like that. And then if you look here, you can see that the body is not level. It's slightly bent like this. And the tail lights are not positioned quite right. But I was learning back then, Danny.
Oh, I thought you always made perfect models every time. I didn't know you had a starting point like this.
Oh yeah, Danny, I did. One thing that's cool is you can see the Bell helmets and the Pennzoil logos underneath here on the frame. But clearly in some spots, if I back up, this is not really touching the frame and it's touching the body here.
Yeah, that is a bit awkward.
Well, Danny, I had to learn, and this is the steps. See here, I've even got interior color coming out, from the inside onto the body on the outside. You can also see the yellow is a bit transparent. You can see brown underneath. Oh, going back here, I also didn't really remove the seam line and smooth it out down here, so you can see how rough that is.
Whoa, Trevor, you really came a long way.
Well, let me show you something else here. So here I have a work in progress of the same car, and this is about 20 or 30 years later, and I wanted to build this one to show the improvements. So right away you can see that the body is now level with the front of the car.
Oh yeah.
So what I did there is I read the instructions, as an adult, and realized that you had to cut the firewall in half in order for this to happen. So I don't know how well you can see this, but this upper portion of the firewall, yeah, right there, is where it's cut in half. So now that allows the body to sit down. I still have to work on the carburetors here, get rid of the seam line, but now with the Molotow chrome pen, I can smooth this out perfectly and you wouldn't even tell there was ever a seam line there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I still have to put the headers on here, Danny, but this entire front area, I spray painted it with Tremclad Gloss Light Gray instead of brush painting it with the old testers. Now the interior bucket is sitting low on here. So once I get this done and glue it up into the glass, this little portion down here, that will get absorbed up top and disappear. I tried to go through my decal box and find all the decals that I could to match the two cars, but they weren't all there, so I used some different sponsors along the way. However, this Deuce Coupe with the cards and the 8-ball on fire, that's my favorite decal. I was able to save those from the other kit. I have to find a metal axle for the front wheels. That's why they're not on there. I also realized that you can't really run a dragster with Baby Moon hubcaps on, so this one will not have them. Oh, that's important. Yeah, because if you need to change a tire or something, you got a Baby Moon you got to pop off. Now, it still looks like it's angled here. It's just, there's something weird with the tripod and the camera, but this actually, this time around, is not angled. And you can see that I scraped all the seam lines and smoothed it all out now, and it looks really nice. Now keep in mind, I still have both cars, so let's just compare the two side by side. So here's the original, and here is the upgrade. And you can already tell the front axle is slightly lighter gray than the original, but the radiator shell is upright, whereas this one is leaning over this way. The headlights will be corrected. Also, the starter motor, or the generator, I've still got brown paint on the pulley front, but here it's flat black all the way like it should. And yeah, you can see that body sitting up high on this side, and the white walls that are kind of crazy, and then the tail lamps. And then here, like, I've got that decal from an airplane. I don't have the Ford Power one anymore, and the moon eyes and that, but the STP, those are in the same location. You can see these ones are aligned with the trunk lid, whereas this one's tilting in this way. The Wyland I don't have, so I ended up using a Peak one up here instead. I've got more sponsors. I took the Bell and the Pennzoil one off the frame, put them up there. Isky cams and Goodyear on here are replaced with Marshall and CB for the headlights. I also have Crane cams. I put the I Love Model Cars decal there instead of Street is Neat, because that one's from a really old decal set. Monroe in here instead of Edelbrock. I don't have that Ford license plate logo thing here. Not sure if I'm even going to put these taillights on, because again, this is a dragster, so you don't really need taillights on a dragster. There I've got, you can see the Hearst shifter and the Valvoline, the Deuce Coupe, Mallory underneath, Die Hard up here. Originally it was American Racing Equip. And then Morriso and Doug's headers are up on the roof line. But whereas the original, I put them side by side, and then there's a space here. On this one, the space is in between here, which balances out the look of it. And then I've got the crane cams and all that repeated, whereas up here I don't. The windshield frame is sticking way out. Here I don't have it in yet, but I'll try to make it a little tighter. Up on the intake air flap, here, let's just see if I tilt this up a little. I've got genuine Ford parts, which I have on the original, and then Holley equipped in the Union 76 on that flap, and then a Peak, that's your antifreeze. So again, quite a bit different, but you can see the improvement over here over time, Danny, many years. So this wasn't like I did this one weekend, the next weekend I was in perfection mode. This is years of going from this stage, the beginning stage, into my advanced stage. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, and I'll show you something else too, Danny. Now this is somebody else's beginning, and I really like this actually. This is an original Johan 1963 Plymouth. And back in the day there was a lot of custom things going on. So whoever built this, they added louvers on the hood and these little scoops, but they didn't remove the little attachment points from the sprue. And that's okay, because this is the first attempt. So I'm just looking at it and showing you where this person was at their beginning stages. So here we have some lake pipes, but unfortunately the actual pipe piece, I don't have it anymore, it broke off. Now, they did cut the roof off, and they added in these sun visors, which is pretty good for back in the day. They added in a roll bar here. You can see clearly where the roof was cut off, and there is no convertible boot. They use these really cool tires and these hubcaps, which I wish they had a second set on the front. They also added in bullet Cadillac tail lamps and this fin off the back. There it is there, 1962. There's some really cool features on this, but you can see where they began. They hand brushed on the chrome using Testor's silver, and unfortunately this window post broke a little bit. I can fix that. And then let's just pick this thing up a bit. So underneath the hood they used a tricarb engine, which is quite neat. There's a battery here, and there's the brake master cylinder, which I painted silver, painted the radiator silver. And up in the interior, this is actually a record player with some records stacked vertically up there. Neat look on the interior. They used some decals there for the gauges. They didn't paint the dashboard. But again, this is all okay because this is somebody's learning points, right? Oh yeah. They added in these seat belts, I think from an AMT kit. I think those front ones are Johann's, but they're different colors, as you can see. Yeah, for sure. And there's some sink marks in here on the trunk lid. But again, they might not have known about putty. They obviously didn't paint the body. This is the plastic it came in. And then up underneath, they did put their name, their initials, WM. So something with a little bit of pride, which is always nice. And they screwed the bottom underneath. They added in some silver paint on the exhaust. And this is actually pretty good. It looks like only a little spill back here, you know, where it came off the pipe and actually started running up into the chassis. But again, it's good effort. I mean, I even still do that. I just touch mine up over here with flat black. But you can see the effort. And there was a sense of pride to this. So I know a lot of people will call these things glue bombs and all the rest, but they're forgetting that this is somebody's starting point or maybe midpoint or something to that effect. And it's not bad. The challenge was to get the model together and make it look nice. And they did that with good effort. So Danny, always remember that your starting points are going to be this sort of thing. And mine were, and everybody else's were. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a failure. That is actually what you want to go for at this stage. Oh, I never thought of it like that. A model kit is not like a Lego set where everything comes with an instruction set, tells you what to do, it's all pre-colored, and all the pieces snap fit together perfectly, so what's on the box is exactly what you're going to be able to build.
Wait, I can just make it my way?
Exactly. The challenge isn't to copy the box art. The challenge and the fun is to make the model inside yours. The box art here, Danny, is inspiration, unlike the Lego box, where the box art is actually a mirror of the item that you're going to be able to build with all the pieces inside. This one, you make it yours, Danny. The model on the box is an external. You can't control it. What you can control is your effort, your focus, and your patience. That's where the real victory comes from. This is why I personally prefer the artist illustrated box art to the photo box top, because with the artist one, there is a lot that's left to your imagination, whereas with the photo box one, most people view that as a mirror of how they have to build the model, or they also think other things like the model is molded this way and the decals are already on it and that sort of thing, and you just have to press it together again like Lego. The box sets a fake standard, and then social media like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and all the others, they turn that into builder's pressure. Remember, Danny, the box art is a map, not a mirror.
So, if I mess up, it's not bad?
Not at all. Nobody posts their first attempts. But Danny, everybody has one.
Really?
Every mistake is a lesson, a chance to practice calm and focus. The car is just plastic. It doesn't define you. Your effort does. So here's the first rule of the bench ready mindset. The model kit is just a tool. Your effort is what matters. Consider the model kit as your canvas, not as a test. The box art is inspiration. It's not a report card.
Okay. I think I can try it my way then. Well, thanks for the inspiration, but I won't be needing you now. All right, let's go down and build this thing.
Good choice.
Next time we'll talk about the glitches, the crooked glue, the snap parts, the paint smudges, and why they're the best teachers you'll ever have.